how you want to do this intro.
You're gonna go back and redo the intro?
I mean, I don't know how you want to like do the intro. Do you want to start us off and then I'll just like jump in at the very end or jump
Oh,
in where you would go?
I don't know.
I guess let's just do it like I don't know. You do it how I would normally do it, and I'll just take your place after Beth. Then
Okay. Oops, I'm not recording. All right, you already record.
I'm
Yeah.
recording.
I'm
Okay.
recording.
All right. You're listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Brian, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Beth?
Mario.
Kirsten.
Oh.
I knew it. I knew something was going to happen.
All right, take two.
Yeah, sure. How are we doing this? Am I going or is Kirsten going?
You go. I'll just go last.
Okay.
You're listening to the Station 71 podcast. My name is Brian, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
Beth?
Mario.
And Kirsten.
All right, so this week's episode, we have a pretty fun game that was actually submitted to us by one of our listeners. But before we do that, let's start off like we always do with the news. First story we have is there are new aerial images showing the progress of Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios.
This is exciting. It means we're getting closer to Galaxy's Edge actually opening.
Yes.
Do y'all think it's going to open on time?
I mean, they haven't really announced like a specific time, so I guess they could kind of play it by ear, right?
Oh, well, now it says fall 2019. Didn't it used to be summer 2019? So I feel like they've already pushed it back.
It's summer 2019 for Disneyland, and it's fall 2019 for Disney World.
Oh, okay.
I made that same mistake too. I guess it's just so weird that they're not opening at the same time.
I'm very
Yeah.
surprised that they aren't doing them at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of spoilers lurking around.
True. I mean, as far as everything that's been announced, they're going to be almost the exact same, if not the exact same, from park to park, right? So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
but to answer your question, Kirsten, I think that they will do absolutely everything in their power to get this open on time with as much money as riding on this. I mean, I'm sure people are already booking vacations just for this.
I
Yeah.
also think that's a lot of the reason why they haven't set a date on it yet is because they don't want to be tied to like, oh, we have to be open now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because with Toy Story Land, it got pushed fairly close to when it was going to open. And I know, we didn't get a pass holder preview or anything for that land. So I'm hoping Disney doesn't do that again in the same exact park.
Honestly, I kind of wish they would do it like New Fantasyland where they did it in stages. Like, I just feel like it's so much less pressure. It's so much like the crowds are better because there's not this one day, I don't know. I liked New Fantasyland opening, how it did.
I also think that would, like you said, relieve a lot of the stress. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be less crowds if they're like, oh, Smuggler's Run opens on this day, and then the other ride opens on this day, and then like this chunk of Galaxy's Edge opens instead of just like, here's your whole land that everybody's waited for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, moving on to our next story, we have an announcement for all of the things that are coming to Mickey and Minnie's Surprise Celebration. So this is a collection of different events, meet and greets, costumes that are going to be coming to Magic Kingdom on January 18th. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think they just need to change the Move It, Shake It name to Move It, Shake It, Beat It to Death because that's all they ever do is change the name. And it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Really bothers me.
And this time the name is getting even worse. So.
I feel like it's going to get longer and longer and longer before they actually just kill it.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to take up a whole page on the Disney website just for the name.
So other than the the parade that nobody seems to be excited about. There's also going to be meet and greets, and let's see, Mickey and Minnie will be meeting with new costumes on, along with Pluto at Pete's Silly Sideshow. We've got some new musical experience. The Dapper Dans and Casey, piano player, are both going to be playing new music that's going to be honoring Mickey and Minnie. There will be a guest book in the Town Square Theater that you'll be able to sign, and also limited edition food and merchandise coming to the parks.
I gotta ask, what songs honor Mickey and Minnie?
I mean, the only thing I can think of, like, I guess
It's like
NYC.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I wasn't even gonna go with that. I was gonna say the Casey's Corner piano guy could play like the Steamboat Willie song.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But you know, if this thing has Mouse Could Dance It in it, that you're sure enough going to be playing the Mickey Mouse Club march.
Oh, they have to.
Oh, and this is semi-related. But have y'all seen the news that they're going to start selling Mickey premium bars in stores?
Yes, I
Yep.
did.
Yes, and they're going to be so much cheaper. You're going to get like 6 for
The price of one.
$7 or something.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy like the entire stock at my grocery store. Just to have
Just like
for when they
load
stop
up.
selling it. Yeah.
I also think like as dumb as this like or as small as this is, I like the guest book thing. But I
like
feel like
you're like dumb. No, let me
it's
correct that.
it's tiny, and it's one of those things that it's like I wonder how often they're gonna have to change that. Like, if you think about it in terms of like the murals at Festival of the Arts, they changed that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna be in Magic Kingdom, which is the busiest park. It's gonna be in Town Square Theater, which has the Mickey meet and greet, so people are gonna be visiting it. Like, there's just a lot of traffic there.
What do they do with it afterwards? Like, have they read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up?
They give it to Mickey and Minnie as a keepsake, Kirsten.
And it
Oh.
goes into like storage behind or in the utilidors, and it's never seen again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably so.
Is it just me, or did this like come up really fast? I feel like we were talking about this like months ago, but
I
maybe
feel
it's
like-
just feels like it's passing really fast.
I feel like they did move really fast on this, but it was also one of those things that like they had to.
Did they have to?
I mean, they kind of probably were like, "Oh, we're not really doing much for Mickey and Minnie, so let's do this. Oh, we got to do it soon, so let's move it, shake it, and throw a party around it."
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird that like the way that they do the like anniversaries, they literally celebrate it like afterwards sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it's like the whole point of this is because Mickey turned 90 in November, right?
yeah, and that's what I
Yeah.
meant. Like, it was because Mickey's 90th was there, and then they were like, "Oh shoot, we're not actually doing anything for him."
Yeah, somebody dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, because this is not like huge changes coming. This seems like kind of a cobbled together thing as it is now. So it seems like they could have just cobbled it together a little faster and thrown it out there.
It's the Mickey version of the Jungle Book Alive with Magic.
Oh no.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope nothing is as bad as that ever again. But moving on to our next story, something to possibly get excited about. There is a new Illuminations dining package that's coming to Epcot.
I think this is so funny. Like, we just got the announcement it's closing, and here's a dining package for it.
They gotta like throw out a swan song for it, I guess. It's been so long, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I do not. $85? Like, what? That is, to me, it feels really steep for that restaurant, Rose and Crown.
Oh, it's very steep.
hmm
Like, fish and chips, really?
Yeah, especially like this is something that you could do for just like getting there early
Yeah.
before.
Well, probably not anymore because now it'll be blocked off.
Right.
So my question is, why is it only offered at Rose and Crown? Like,
Well, it's like, I mean, well, a good point. They probably could have done this at multiple locations.
I
'cause
bet
of the
it's
way
the
that it's set up.
easiest because, like, if you think about the other restaurants in the other lands, they're not really right on the water like Rose and Crown is. You know, like the other restaurants are typically set back.
Yeah.
even if they did it like at another restaurant and then just had reserved seating, kind of like how Fantasmic does their dining packages. Like that's what I would have expected
Yeah.
from this, but I don't know.
Well, they also do like they have those this like sections, like the empty sections, reserved a lot of nights for wedding parties and stuff. Like our when my friend got married there, the night of her wedding, they had like a dessert party and illuminations, and it was at the area at the Rose and Crown. But I bet that's one of the I bet that one's not as popular as like the Italy Pavilion and all that stuff. So maybe that's why. Maybe they can make more money using those for special events.
Yeah.
So to go into some of the specifics about it, like we said, it's $85 for adult, $35 for children. It's a 3-course prefix meal. You do get unlimited alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. So, I mean, I think if you take that into consideration, it might not be that bad of a deal. I mean,
If
That
you're
actually
always to get like
does.
totally blasted, you could make it worth it.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not even because like if you're thinking about the fact that you're getting food and you take that out, that's like I don't know 6, 7 drinks, and you're done. You got your money's
Who
worth.
can drink 6 or 7 drinks?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Resident alcoholic over here.
You
Yeah,
have to
I mean,
carry me out of Epcot.
oh
Yeah,
my
I
god,
couldn't
oh, you
save.
guys, like 7 drinks is nothing when you've done drinking around the world.
I've done drinking around the world, but barely.
I
Um,
have done
never
it very
tried.
successfully once and barely once, so I think I could handle 6 or 7 drinks. But anyway,
So Beth, you're booking your Illuminations dining package now.
I mean, I don't know if I want to commit now, but it's not a terrible idea.
Oh boy. Well, on that note, are y'all ready to start the game?
Let's do it.
Sure.
So this was actually proposed to us by one of our listeners, Rebecca. She wanted us to design our own Disney restaurant. So we had to each come up with one quick service and one table service restaurant. She also stipulated some rules. And I just gotta say, this is probably the most like complete episode idea I think any of our listeners have submitted to us because she gave us like everything. So
Hold on, before you dive into that, I just want to say she gave us this like weeks ago. She put all of the effort into giving us the rules and everything, and I still prepped for this like a half hour before we started.
Oh my god.
Well, her rules state we can either build a new restaurant or overhaul an existing one, but if we choose to overhaul the existing restaurant, we can't choose the same cuisine. We have to say where in the park it's located and what type of theming we're doing, what type of food each restaurant serves, what type of dining, whether it's a buffet, family style, prefix. Does it require 1 or 2 dining credits? Does it serve alcohol? Will it have a character meet and greet or not? And if so, which characters? She says bonus points for villains, and also bonus points if you can come up with a signature food or cocktail for your location. So, how do y'all want to do this? I think we should do our quick services first and then move to table service.
Okay, that's
Sounds
good
good.
with me
Sounds good.
because my quick service is like horrible, so I'm down for that.
All right, well, Mario, why don't you start us off?
Okay, so for my quick service, I just want to add an extension. Both of mine, I'm going to say this right now, both of mine are in Dino Land USA because I think that's one of the weakest parts of the parks. I was also trying to find a place that doesn't have a lot of food or like good food options, which is weird because after doing this, I realized that Animal Kingdom actually has a fair amount of food options.
I can't believe you picked Dino Land.
Why?
Because you hate it, so I figured you just wanted nothing to do with it.
Here's the thing. I love Dino Land. I hate Chester and Hester.
Oh, okay.
So-
well, I mean, Chester's and Hester's is like, what, 85% of Dino Land?
But I love Dinosaur. I like absolutely love Dinosaur. And I wish if they could theme all of Dino Land to like Dinosaur and like the Dino Institute and like discovering fossils. And I'll get into all of
It
that.
is.
But Chester and Hester's.
Chester and Hester's is still fitting in with that theme.
No.
I refuse. I refuse. So by far the weakest part of my plan to overhaul Dino Land USA is to add an extension onto the Dino Institute, and build a counter service that's similar to the resorts, how it's kind of like a market style quick service.
Okay.
And as awful as this sounds, this is like you know how when you go into a museum, there's like the cafeterias that you would eat in. And I know we always bash on ABC Commissary for being themed like this, but that's what I want it to be.
See, but it would actually work there.
Right. And that's what I wanted out of it, is it to be kind of the commissary for the Dino Land Institute, but instead of just being like accepting the fact that it's a commissary, there's going to be like TVs playing different like goofy educational segments that are going to be done by Dr. Seeker pre-Dino, Dinosaur. And they're going to teach you about different dinosaurs, kind of similar to the queue in the Safari, but they're going to be short little blurbs that can kind of cycle without you really noticing. But that's my quick service. I didn't plan it out like food-wise and stuff. I was just thinking it was going to be like American food because that's what most of these places would have. And it's just going to have like the counters where you walk up, you get like your, you can order one of like 5 different cheeseburgers and like a salad at a different counter or a pizza at a different counter. That kind of stuff. I didn't put a signature cocktail or a food piece in here because that's in my next one. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, it would be 1 quick service credit because nothing would take more than 1 quick service credit.
Oh,
Nice. Me next?
sure.
Okay, so I also kind of went with I guess, like you said, marketplace. I put like park counter service, park grab and go. But, Epcot's going in this direction where they're like, hey, let's put all these characters into the parks. So I figured if they're going to do that, that at least I would pick which characters that is. So my quick service, I was going to theme after Treasure Planet. So it would be located in Future World.
Interesting.
So it'd be kind of like home style cooking. I was thinking like, the stuff that they serve at the Benbow Inn, which is
That
Jim's
sounds-
mom's restaurant.
I'm going to stop you right there. Like, I love this movie and I feel like it's super underrated, but that sounds horrible.
Why?
Because they serve yucky things. That's why I hate that movie, because it's like gross and everybody looks gross. Like,
Okay, well, the food's not going to look gross. They're going to modify it, I guess, to make it palatable for humans.
Palatable for Kirsten.
Yeah. But obviously it's quick service, so no characters really. Also because the characters that walked around for Treasure Planet were terrifying in the past, so I don't want to bring that back, except maybe Ben. And then I just thought that there would be some interactive elements, like kind of how Trader Sam's has the windows that, looks like the volcano. It would just be like the Treasure Planet scenery. And then maybe kind of like the Peter Pan queue where Tinkerbell kind of flies by, except it would be Morph.
Nice.
is this
No,
going to be a
I really
vegetarian
like-
restaurant?
Not strictly vegetarian, but definitely more options than are currently offered.
That's why she wanted to do it themed to Treasure Planet, because they can do like the vegetarian slop. See a bunch of vegetables mixed together.
Is it going to be like reverse where there's like it's all vegetarian and they have like one really nasty meat option?
No, I'll make it half and half because I understand that we are a minority. So
Though, I do like on both of y'all is the idea of having like a grab and go in the park because I think it'd be super convenient.
So I was thinking about this, and it's funny that you did the kind of a similar thing to what I did, because when I was doing this, I was like, the park doesn't really have any of these. And then I remembered that I put mine in the only park that does have one, and that's Harambe Market.
Well, Epcot has Sunshine Seasons.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But yes,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there should be more of these in the park.
I think it works really well in the resorts because most people are just going to grab and go and then run out to the buses. And with the resorts, they want them to kind of just enjoy it and stay. But I think if they did some kind of theming like what Beth and I were proposing here, it makes more sense.
Yeah. All right. I guess I will go next. Mine is going to be a Splash Mountain themed restaurant located near the attraction, and I'm going to call it Snacks of the South.
Oh,
So
Are you gonna play offensive movies inside?
that will probably not happen here. But so the idea would be a counter service type restaurant, and the actual counter where you'll go up and order and pick up your food will be designed like the riverboat from the Zippity Doodah scene of the ride. So the entrance to the restaurant will be like a large briar patch that kind of like grows over from both sides and makes a roof. Seating will be in like large carved out tree stumps. This might be kind of stretching it to do in a quick service, but they do it at Cosmic Ray, so I figure they can do it here. But I'd love for there to be like a Brer Fox and Brer Bear animatronic in the restaurant, and so like Brer Fox is trying to explain to Brer Bear about how they're going to catch Brer Rabbit, and obviously like he's having a very, very hard time conveying the information to Brer Bear. And then like occasionally there'd be like an animatronic Brer Rabbit that kind of like pokes his head out at different places around the restaurant and like comments on their plans and stuff. But the idea was to do like a Southern style restaurant, which I feel like there's not a lot of like Southern style food within the parks, like at least not a specific restaurant. I actually made like a whole menu.
Oh, nice. Let's hear it.
Okay, so there'd be like a snack menu, and they would do like fried green tomatoes, fried corn nuggets, fried cauliflowers and pickles, and then pot liquors. And then for entrees,
Wait, what?
pot liquors.
I'm wondering what that is.
What is that?
This is like a very Southern thing. It's
I'm from South Carolina.
So
Yeah, Texas.
you either like
It's a Georgia thing.
this is probably gonna sound nasty to
Oh Lord.
never had it, but it's actually really good. So you cook down like cauliflower, or geez, not cauliflowers, collard greens or turnip greens, and you take like the juice out of it, and then you take like cornbread, and you can like dip it or like crumble it up into it and then eat it. Super.
Oh my
good.
god, that sounds disgusting.
I know it sounds bad, but it is very, very good.
I also don't like collard greens, so
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
Most sane people don't.
it's a very divisive food. I feel like there's not a whole lot of people that are like, oh yeah, collard greens are okay. It's just either like they don't like them or they love them. So I am in the love them boat. But entrees would stick pretty stereotypical here. I got fried chicken, fried catfish, meatloaf, Brunswick stew, and then throw it in there for Beth. Do a vegan Southern gumbo.
Aw, thanks.
Sides with cornbread, fried okra, baked beans, coleslaw, or biscuits, and then a dessert of apple or peach cobbler. And finally, for my favorite part of the restaurant is my signature drink that would be like an Arnold Palmer, the half lemonade, half sweet tea. And it would be called a, you ready for this?
Oh no.
Sippity Doodah.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
Oh my
Love
god.
it.
So yeah, there's my restaurant.
Nice. Other than the collard greens, I'm a fan.
Yeah, it definitely
Okay.
sounds like you put in some work on that one.
Yeah.
I actually, yeah, my quick service was a lot easier for me than my table service. I think maybe it's because I eat quick service so much more, but
I'm interested to hear Kirsten's because I struggled with quick service. It sounds like Beth kind of like had an somewhere in the middle of the road time with hers, and then Brian, you like went all out with it. So we've covered this spectrum. I'm interested to see where Kirsten falls.
Well, I like the theming stuff. So I've oftentimes complained about how there's not a good fast food Italian restaurant. I mean, in like normal life too, not just Disney. So I decided I would sort of revamp Pinocchio's Village House at Magic Kingdom. And since Pinocchio is set in Italy, I would make it an Italian restaurant. So at A&M, where I went to college, they had this restaurant when I started called the Tomato Bar, and it was like a pasta buffet. So you would like go down the line and you would pick what kind of pasta, because they had like different shapes, whatever, and then pick your sauce, and then they had all kinds of stuff you could add to it, like different meats and sausages and like vegetables and like garlic and all kinds of different stuff. So I figured I would set it up like that, where you choose like your pasta, your sauce, your toppings, and then somebody kind of heats it all up in a skillet in front of you. And so that's what it would be. And then dessert, they would have a gelato bar, like same concept, like a Cold Stone or something, but gelato. And yeah, Pinocchio's Village House. So I'd revamp the theming to focus more on like mixing, I guess, Venetian architecture with like the It's a Small World, since you can see Small World out the window, and add more bright stuff so that like in the form of Cleo, Figaro, the Blue Fairy, Jiminy, etc. No alcohol because Walt said so.
Kirsten's gonna take that to her grave.
So it makes me sad in Magic Kingdom, like Walt said so. Anyway, but I do have a signature drink. I mean, the other parks I don't care. Signature drink. Okay, so side story. When my friend got married there in the fall of 2017, we had light up drinks, and so I took a bunch of the ice cubes home, and Eli's obsessed with them, and I give them to him to play with in the car, and he like loves turning on the light up ice cubes. So they're on my mind all the time now. I'm gonna order some more off Amazon because one's already dead. But anyway, so I figured I would do a signature drink that was like a Blue Fairy. That's what it would be named, with light up ice cubes, and it would basically be like a virgin pina colada that's blue. And signature food would be dessert, and I would call it the Pleasure Island, and it would basically be the kitchen sink, but like with all the gelato and the toppings, and served in a giant fish bowl. So, and then, do you know how to bleep things, Mario?
Yes.
Okay, because my soundtrack is going to be "Wishes All Day, Every Day, Bitches." That's what
All right, I will definitely bleep that for you just for comedic effect.
I mean, Jiminy narrates it, so it works.
So, not to help Kirsten out here, because I don't know if we're in competition, but we were looking at the Disney dining site the other day, and I forget which restaurant it was, but they advertised for the Magical Star cocktail, which is probably the one that you got that has that glowing cube in it. And this is like the one place that it would actually make sense in, versus like everywhere else on Disney property that they serve it, because that's like their filler drink, but it would really fit here.
Yeah.
I only thought of that because there's like 3 glowing ice cubes on my desk.
Well, send them over. Eli loves them.
So did I miss? Where did you say you're putting this?
Pinocchio's Village House.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, nice.
Which, as much as I love that, I totally agree that would make a really good like quick Italian place.
Well, there's no like, even in real life, there's no Italian fast food. Like, why not? Italian food is amazing. Sometimes you just want some spaghetti and you don't want to cook it.
Yeah, and spaghetti's easy enough to make that you could probably do it just exactly as you said.
Yeah. That was like the most popular restaurant at college too. Everybody was there. It was constantly packed. So I'm a fan.
That sounds like it would be crazy packed. So I guess that brings us to our table service restaurants, which brings it back to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine, I went a little bit crazy with this. But I'm going to level all of Chester and Hester's and put a giant like rock formation in the middle of Chester and Hester's. And I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna help me or hurt me, but just for concept's sake, I can't remember who's been to Universal in this
Yes.
podcast. Mythos, the restaurant, looks similar to that, like just a giant rock formation that's like natural rock formation, but there's like carved entrances into it.
I remember that.
So-
Where is this?
It's in Universal. I can't
Like-
remember where exactly, but it's there somewhere.
It's probably over in that section where they had that like
Poseidon thing?
yes,
yeah, it's over that way. I think that would make the most sense. But just for aesthetic's sake, that's what the outside is going to look like, or similar enough to that.
Oh wow, I just looked at pictures of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, the food there isn't that great, but the restaurant itself looks really cool. So when you enter this restaurant, it's not going to be like traditional doors. It's just going to be like carved holes into this restaurant. Obviously, there's going to be signs guiding you in because I know that otherwise no one would ever eat here. But
Oh,
There-
I just looked up a picture. I used the bathroom here once.
That's
I've
a
never
fun
actually
way to
eaten there
remember
though.
that. But so you go in through these like little holes that are carved into the rocks, and as you go in, it's gonna be lit by torches, and this is gonna actually be the dig site for the Dino Institute.
Oh, that's cool.
Inside, there's gonna be like fossils carved into the wall, kind of like how the animals are carved into the Tree of Life. And each table is gonna be kind of like a stone bench, and they're gonna be set up kind of like they're prepping their camp for like a meal if they were on a dig. But for food, I had a hard time with this because I couldn't figure out where they would be digging. So I thought, why settle for one meal when you can have mixes of Asian, African, and American foods to kind of please every palate? Because all of these archaeologists have been all over the place digging, so it's going to be the kind of foods that they got from where they were at. This isn't going to be a character meal because this is a sophisticated restaurant. But I kind of cheaped out on my signature cocktail, and I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this, but my quote-unquote cocktail is going to be like a special brewed amber ale that's going to be only served at this location, and inside, instead of the glowing ice cubes like Kirsten has, they're going to be frozen plastic bugs. So this is going to be like the amber that they're taking them out of. So that was my plan for that. This is going to be a single credit table service restaurant, and I believe that covers everything.
Nice.
Wow, you did like really like hardcore theming.
Yeah, well, so the worst part was I was like, okay, what can I do for this? And my first couple ideas were just so bad, and then I was like, this works really well here, and I can get rid of Chester and Hester's.
That was your real impetus.
Yep.
That's funny. Okay, well, my table service is also in Epcot. Again, the characters, I'm choosing which ones. If we're going to get characters, I get to pick. So the type of food that I want to serve at my table service, which is funny, you guys asked if my last one was going to be a vegan and vegetarian restaurant. While this one is not vegan and vegetarian, the idea behind it is it's completely healthy and sustainable food, and that all of it is either grown in living with the land or locally sourced or sustainably sourced. And I want to theme it kind of like a la Wall-E. So lots of vegetarian and vegan stuff. Obviously, both of mine were just one dining plan credit, by the way. And I thought it would be cool, while I don't know if this is necessarily considered character dining, I thought it would be cool to have a free roaming Wall-E that kind of like the Living Character Initiative.
Nice.
So, yeah. And also kind of thought that we could do like interactive elements, like I mentioned in my last one, where we would have like the windows that you could see different stuff out of. And I did come up with a signature drink for this one that consists of dark rum, ginger beer, and lime. And it's served in a souvenir boot with a leaf
Oh.
/ sprout shaped straw, and it's called the Directive.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
So hey, I gotta ask though, if it's themed after Wally, are you gonna do like the meals in a cup?
No, this is post Wally. Like this is after they've gotten everything together and everything. Like Earth is like repairing itself.
So we don't get to ride on a scooter and like drink a giant Coke.
No.
I like that idea though. That's really good.
I do. There's almost no Wally in the parks, and I feel like it was a
Yeah.
pretty universally loved movie.
They could
Mhm.
fit it very easily into Tomorrowland.
True.
All right, I'll do my table service, I guess. I kind of took a really big stretch with this one, and I'm not very sure about the feasibility of it, but I think it would be very cool. Mine is called Walt's Dining Express, and the idea behind this would be to take the Walt Disney Railway and actually make it into a moving restaurant. So the idea, I figured that like kind of similar to Garden Grill, but on a much bigger scale, guests would basically like board the train. Like you'd have to get reservations ahead of time, and guests would all board the train at once, and it would just slowly move around the park. And as it did, the kitchen, bathrooms, table, it's all on the train. So it would just be like the whole restaurant is basically moving around the park, and then that way you get kind of like a tour of the park while you're doing it. I didn't know if I wanted to do like character meet and greets necessarily, but I thought it'd be really cool to have like the conductor that would walk around the train and like meet with guests and like tell them facts about the train, the railway system, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, might have kind of been overreaching on this one, but
Oh, mine's totally unrealistic. I didn't know it was a requirement.
well, that makes me feel better.
I mean, your idea is not. I don't think it's very unrealistic. It's if you think about modern day trains, they have like restaurants on them and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, dining cars are totally a thing.
All right. So, I figured I would make this like pretty upscale dining option. Basically, it's like a steakhouse. I had like steak options, just like grilled chicken breast salad, lobsters, lamb shank for the entrees. Just your normal garden variety steakhouse sides, baked potatoes, sauteed asparagus, that kind of stuff, soups. Desserts, I had cheesecake varieties, creme brulee, and ice cream sundaes. And then, don't kill me, Kirsten, but there is a signature alcoholic drink on here. I know it's kind of a double whammy because it's
Walt's Diner?
I know, but
He's rolling over in his very cold grave right now.
it's called the All Aboard Aperitif, and it is a gin and tonic with a splash of grenadine.
Nice. Yeah, I would really enjoy this restaurant. I think it'd be really cool. I think it would become probably a be our guest situation where it'd be really difficult to get a reservation.
And
But
I think this would definitely be a 2-credit option for the Disney dining plan.
yeah, I
But
think that's fair.
I feel like there's not a lot of like, I mean, even Cinderella's Royal Table, it's not like super duper exclusive. I mean, like it's hard to get a reservation to, but I feel like it'd be cool to have this almost like Club 33 type thing like that. I mean, as much as I would hate for like the railway to not be accessible to everyone, I feel like it's already kind of overlooked a lot. So maybe do something new with it.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Now, question for you: would you still run the railway like during the day as an attraction, or would you just run it as this dining experience?
That's a good idea. I guess you could do it during the day and then at night just make it like the dining option.
Or you could just make like a couple of the cars dining and the others you could still just ride randomly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Extend the train by like 5 cars.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, I guess I'm last. Wow, this has turned into a really short episode. We should have done more restaurants. So mine table service, I think it's just going to be 1 credit. I didn't think about that beforehand. But anyway, you know how I am about these things. It's going to be in Hollywood Studios by Tower of Terror, and where I guess bulldoze all of those like awful walk-up quick service things that are right there. I hate those. Does anybody like those?
They're unremarkable.
Yeah, I hate them. So we're going to bulldoze them. So obviously the theme is going to be Tower of Terror. And this is really ridiculous, but I saw there was an episode of Sex and the City where there was like a similar theme of this kind of restaurant, but it was a bar. Anyway, so the theme is Tower of Terror. And it's a combination of like a hotel room, sci-fi, and 50s primetime, right? So in the inspiration for this was a bar called Bed, and all of the tables were like beds, right? And that's where you drank. So basically it's like everybody, all the tables are like themed like a hotel, and it has the TV, and that's what I kind of meant by 50s primetime. And so you watch episodes of The Twilight Zone while you eat.
That's cool.
And so food, I put like typical kind of room service fare, light, like on the brunch side, sandwiches, soups, like, you know, breakfast stuff, like, and a breakfast in bed menu that's all breakfast food. And then they wheel your food in on like a tray with the silver things, and the waiters are dressed like the bellhops from Tower of Terror. And yes, you can have alcohol. And so I did my signature drink is a strawberry mimosa, because I feel like champagne and strawberries is a huge room service theme, which is kind of what I was going for. And I called it the Young Hollywood, and it's topped with edible glitter, because of course it is. And the signature food is like an obscenely tall sandwich that has everything on it that's called the elevator shaft.
Cool, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's sweet.
The end.
I can't believe you picked Tower of Terror.
I know.
Shocking.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised nobody went with Haunted Mansion.
I feel like that was too easy.
Yeah.
I mean, not too easy, but that was too, yeah. That would be typical us.
All right.
Yeah, this is a short episode, y'all.
We have the one email. Do we have any other feedback?
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
So if you want to read that email, I did not actually
Okay.
take a look at that.
So we got an email this past week from one of our listeners, Caitlin. She actually wrote us this from the Orlando airport as she was leaving, but she wanted to give us a little trip report. She said that she went with her sister for her 21st birthday, and they stayed at, where'd they stay? At All Stars, and ended up going to 3 of the 4 parks, and she told us about some of the highlights. She says they finally went to Trader Sam's and never laughed so hard in their lives. The drinks and sushis were amazing, and our skippers should be full-time comedians. Again, Skippers or Trader Sam's just incredible. I'm glad other people are enjoying it as much as I do. They went on Flight of Passage and said it was worth the wait, even though they had to wait 2.5 hours. But they I know that's rough, but they said they got to make friends in line, which helped. So, be social when you're at Disney. Everyone else is having to wait, but there's still stuff to enjoy. Let's see. They had the jalapeno cucumber margaritas in Mexico at World Showcase, and it made their night. I've never had these. I don't know if y'all have.
I don't know if that's something I would like.
Yeah, that's...
It's a little too adventurous.
Yeah. But yeah, they had these right before they got on Mission Space too. But they said luckily everything went okay with that. So good to hear.
Braver than I am. I would
know, right?
never get on mission space, except maybe the green one, but definitely not the orange one. After drinks.
Yeah. I love this next point because it's something that I love to do too. So I'll just read out what they said. Our family loves a good family meltdown in the parks, and my sister and I really enjoyed eating our Dole Whip and watching one take place in Magic Kingdom. We
Oh my
also
god, same.
Isn't it great? Like I feel
People
bad.
watching, yes, is just the best.
Yeah, like I feel bad like getting some sort of enjoyment after like from somebody else having an awful time, but it's like mostly I kind of feel like I don't know, the people are like doing it to themselves more than anything every time I see it happen in the parks.
Also, if you're gonna make it that public, then I'm less sympathetic to people staring.
Exactly. They said they also had a family in front of us in Tomorrowland who showed us that they had written Disney 2 long emails regarding how upset they were about the long lines for rides and the lack of fast passes. Titled Disney, no longer the happiest place on earth. That's great.
That's amazing. Could y'all, if somebody was telling you the story, could you like seriously pretend to care, or would you just start laughing? Like, I don't think I could keep a straight face.
I don't
definitely
think I could keep my composure. No.
I'm pretty good actually at keeping my composure, but literally as soon as I was not around them, I would be like laughing and making fun.
And she says, finally, on Buzz Lightyear, her sister must have hit some lucky target because she maxed out the game in the second room.
What?
And even included a picture to confirm, so it's legit. So,
the caption.
So yeah, congrats. There are secret special targets, by the way. So
I mean, I can get 99, like I can max it out by the end of the game because I figured out where a couple of the 100,000 ones are, but I've never done it, I don't think, in the second room.
Yeah, and I mean, from this email, it sounds like they didn't even know about the secret targets either, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But she ended with, "We love your podcast, and thank you for filling the gap between our Disney vacations with lots of magic." So thanks for the trip report and the kind words, Caitlin.
Yeah, thank you. So I guess that's it for this week.
Well,
I mean, we could. I mean, I don't know if you want to do like a couple of, I don't know, game type of things or like whatever. But if you guys just want to wrap it up, then I'm fine with that.
What do we have anything?
I don't think we really do.
No, we totally don't. Well, we have a couple superlatives, but I think they've been kind of done.
We need superlatives in a bad way.
Yeah, we really do.
We should probably just start over from the beginning. Like, y'all remember the first ones.
Go back to episode whatever. I mean, a lot of people have been binging our episodes, so
Lord.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know how I feel about this responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, we've gotten a lot of emails that have said, "I've binge listened to your entire back catalog," and I'm like, that's a little weird.
I mean, I feel like you can tell a huge difference from then to now. I'm almost embarrassed. And even Will was listening to one the other day. He doesn't listen that often. He's like, y'all just sound like y'all have such a good rapport now. Like, it really flows so much better than it did in the beginning.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I remember when I was trying to make like the videos for them to put them on YouTube before Libsyn added the option to just like upload all of them to YouTube. And I listened to the D23 one. I was like, this is so painful to get through now.
See, this is why I don't listen to our episodes.
It's probably better. I mean,
I do, like, I definitely listen to the ones, like, weeks that I miss and stuff, and, like, I'll go back and listen, like, every once in a while to, like, random ones, but I don't typically listen to it because I hate the sound of my own voice. So, I don't know.
I like to try to listen to it and like pick out things that I think I could do better.
Maybe I should do that.
I mean, I have to listen back to it. 'cause- so I sit here and then get angry about things that we did where like we all talked over each other.
So, on the topic of people watching, since she was talking about that in her email, do you guys have any particularly funny stories?
Oh yeah, I have a good one.
Let's hear it.
We are walking through Adventureland, and there is a family of 4. There's a dad and his son sitting across from Pirates, and who I'm assuming is the mom and the daughter walking away from Pirates towards them. And you can kind of tell that, like, I mean, the girl was probably like 4 or 5 maybe at the most, and you could tell she was kind of like unhappy, but the mom is having like a full-on meltdown, yelling at the dad, and I swear I think she was crying, like the mom. And she like was yelling so loud that me and my wife like immediately stopped and turned and like had to watch. Like everybody in the vicinity was watching what was going on. But this woman is yelling and she goes, "I have had it. I can't take it anymore. I have ridden Pirates 4 times today and I am not doing it again." And like, I guess the girl just wanted to go, and she had made the mom get on again. And yeah, she just had it, and I just like turned to my wife and I was like, this is like at least day 6 of this trip, and they're just like at their wits' end.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
This is gonna sound horrible, but like it's so funny when you see the people that have been at Disney for a very long time and they're just burning out.
Yeah.
Like the families that don't go regularly and like haven't prepped for this, and they're just like, "Oh my god, what do we do now?"
Yeah, I constantly, when I'm at the parks, when I see a family having a meltdown, I'm always like, I'm really glad that I can go as often as I do so I don't have to stress out about anything. It's like, if I don't, if a line is too long, it's like, okay, well, maybe I'll try again tomorrow or next trip or whatever. But, these families, this is the end all be all. And whew, I'm just glad that that's not me.
Yeah.
I was meaning to tell this last week. It's not a funny story at all. It's like the cutest story ever. Whenever I was working there, I saw there was this old couple in front of us. I don't know. They were probably in their 70s, and they stood there and they were holding hands and they had their arms around each other while they watched Wishes on Main Street. And it was the cutest thing ever. Like I literally took a picture from behind them as like the one firework was like going over the castle, and I was like, this is goals. And it's still goals. I still have it on my phone somewhere.
Oh, that's really cute.
I was gonna say, if that's not Kirsten's background.
I know. So cute. Anyway, that's off topic, but I meant to say it last week.
I don't think I have any like particularly funny examples, but Laz and I do like to play a couple of games in the parks, which if you want to, I'll tell the one, and then if you want to cut this other ones, you can. But the one that we really play the most often is called Spot the Happy Couple, and it's the rules is just that you have to find a set of parents or a parent like with a child that looks like they're having a good time, and it's a lot harder than you would think. And when we see like a particularly upset looking mom or dad or couple or whatever, we're always just like, spot the happy couple. But our other games that we like to play, the big one is Sugar Daddy or Actual Daddy.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it's pretty self-explanatory is how that game goes.
Oh man, you can play that anywhere. That's great.
Yeah, we actually do play these games in a lot of places, but Disney is one of the best places to play.
Man.
We did have a Facebook comment that we could read if you'd like.
Okay.
Our listener Maria, who writes us often, said we went to this was on our romantic Disney episode. She said, we went to the Wave at the Contemporary the other night. The lounge is super romantic. The skylights look like stars. and there's comfy chairs under dimly lit blue lights on the side area with the tables. We went before dinner, and it wasn't busy. Super nice atmosphere, like you're underwater. I also find Spaceship Earth really romantic when you get to the projection scene. It's a really nice moment to hold hands during. She also said Pandora at night is really nice. She just likes the new lighting, especially walking the back way in and out. It's usually pretty empty walking by the water, and it's really nice and calm. So that was some really nice romantic suggestions from Maria.
Yeah, especially since we kind of were lacking on the romantic ideas.
In the words of Will, only you guys can start a conversation about quiet romantic places at Disney and end up listing all the places Brian has seen a snake.
Man, that's a really good point.
Yeah, that was a nice summary of us there.
Yeah, I do think it's funny. I feel like that would have been a very different episode if we had at least a couple of hosts that haven't been in long-term relationships forever.
Yeah.
So we actually like listened to the episode when we were driving to Disney yesterday, and like I got to the point where I was like joking around about like, oh, should I cancel my putt-putt and sci-fi dining like reservations? And my wife like turns to me and she's like, did you really make reservations for that for our anniversary? And I was like, oh yeah, seriously. She's like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, I'm just joking. So yeah, she doubly confirmed that neither one of those things is romantic at all. So
yeah, apparently.
Oh boy. See, I'm lucky. I've had the nice option of introducing my girlfriend to Disney, so she doesn't really get a say in what is and isn't romantic.
See, I feel like yours last week were like by far the most like actual romantic suggestions. I was just thinking about like nerdy, goofy things that I like to do. And it's kind of just like, yeah, I hope my wife likes to do those with me because I like to do them.
That's like, so we were planning this next trip, and I was kind of like, so do you want to do this? And she's like, if you want to. And I'm like, come on, please, just give me some feedback. I need help here. She's like, no, like, what we're going to do and what's fun and like what's, not good at Disney. And I was like, I guess, but I want your input too.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, Brian and Kirsten, like, both of your significant others are big Disney fans too, correct?
Yeah.
I know Brian's is. Mario, your girlfriend was not a, like, crazy Disney, like, nerd like we are?
She never actually went before me.
Okay, so I'm, like, a similar situation. Well, actually not similar, but, like, my boyfriend went like every year of his childhood and still didn't turn out to be a Disney nerd like I am somehow. But he's kind of in the position of he loves Disney because it makes me happy and I love Disney. So I totally feel you on that. I'm just like, give me some feedback, please. I don't want to make every decision.
She's gotten better about it, and that's the funny thing. Like, she had gone as much as, like, I guess we had, or even like once or twice, she probably would have turned out to be like a huge Disney person. But she's got things that we have to do now. Like, we have to eat at Be Our Guest, and like we have to.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I know. That's the worst part. Like, when I did dining reservations this last time, I was like, oh great, Be Our Guest is the first one I have to get, and like luckily I had 7 days, like a 7-day window to get it, so I managed to get it in there. But like we were planning, we'd scheduled a reservation for the hibachi at Epcot, and I wasn't like too keen on that. Like, it was just kind of a filler because we really couldn't decide what we wanted. And I was like, just put it in there now and we'll deal with it later. So I was trying to like drill these out of her and like figure out what to, put in its place. And she was like, well, I got Be Our Guest. That's all I really wanted. And I'm like, come on, there's so many other restaurants. We ended up switching it for Boma, but that was more my, like, I really wanted to go back to Boma.
Oh yeah, I think that's
I'm
a good
not a fan of Boma, honestly. Not really.
I love Boma.
I've never eaten there.
I think Sanaa is way better.
My problem that I've had with Sanaa is that I'm not a huge like spicy person, and the last time I went, everything tasted like curry.
Oh, I just get butter chicken. Like I could eat their butter chicken without rice. I could drink it. It's amazing.
I agree that I think Sanaa has a little bit better food, but I mean, like Boma has so much to offer at the buffet. I think it's probably first or second best buffet at Disney, in my opinion.
That's the best way to look at it. Is Boma has so many different options, but Sanaa is like the more adventurous palette, I guess, and it's got better food for that reason.
The cool thing about Boma is, though, like if you want to try something kind of adventurous, but you know you're the kind of person that doesn't like to do that, there's other options too. So you can kind of like get one thing and not have to commit to a whole meal for it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I'm really excited about, because like I've been there before. I like Boma a lot, but she's not always adventurous. So it'll be interesting when we get there, like if she's gonna try anything different. But at least that option's there if she decides to.
Yeah.
So that was all the feedback that we had. If you guys want to wrap this up, I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, I think we did good. We stretched out to an hour, so.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you, Brian, for stepping in for me while my voice is like totally shot.
It's weird. I think this is the first time that one of us has hosted when you're not, like when you're actually on.
So,
yeah.
I felt like you were judging me the whole time.
No, I had this fear the entire time. I was like, or not the entire time, but like when we first started, I was like, if I even talk for like an extended period of time, my voice is just gonna crack, because like I'm at the very end of it now, and I just sound really nasally and like bassy. But like at work today, I was talking and my voice would just crack, and I was like, this is gonna be awful. Like I'm gonna talk tonight on the podcast, and I'm gonna try to like host this show, and I'm gonna have to do like 20 takes of one line, just because it's gonna be that bad. But you did good.
Thanks. I'm a follower, not a leader. You take back over next week.
Yeah, I got it. Who's gonna host while I'm not here?